As the first rays of dawn touch the dewy plains of the Serengeti, a tense silence descends. This is the most perilous time of day for the great herds of herbivores. For in the shadows of scattered trees and amidst the tall grasses, the Serengeti's greatest fear is stirring. Silent paws, eyes as sharp as daggers, and movements that glide like phantoms through the morning mist. This is how the lion, the most formidable of predators, prepares for its hunt. A lion rarely hunts alone. With a formidable frame stretching to 8 feet and weighing some 440 pounds, the impending danger seems long foretold. They are profoundly social animals. Capable of accelerating to 50 miles per hour over a short distance, a lioness is a fusion of speed and power. The claws and jaws of a lion are the ultimate terror for the grazers of the Serengeti. The lion's formidable power is a majesty and authority bestowed by a higher hand. Due to the high density of herbivores, lions must constantly defend their territory. They employ a roar that can be heard from over 5 miles away. As a hunt begins, it is the lionesses, often the most experienced warriors, who take the lead. They do not hunt alone, especially when their quarry is the African buffalo. To hunt such prey by oneself would be a death sentence. The lionesses close in on the buffalo, launching their assault. The great bull, despite its powerful response, is overcome by the strength of the pride. This is not merely a hunt. It is an act of almost perfect coordination. As the apex predators in the food chain, lions play a critical role in regulating herbivore populations. The hunt is over, and the feast begins. But on the Serengeti plains, the sounds of a successful hunt are a dinner bell for others. Spotted hyenas. They are not mere scavengers. They are masters of patience and artists in the art of piracy. They watch, waiting for the perfect moment. A spectacle of uncompromising power, a brutal struggle for survival where the spoils belong to the boldest. In these tense confrontations, the female hyenas serve as the clan's courageous warriors. Now, two of the Serengeti's most formidable forces come face to face. Sharp glances and guttural growls fill the air as neither side yields. Though smaller, the hyenas, with their muscular bodies and courage born of survival instinct, they approach with a steady gait, ready to strike with audacious resolve. The lions roar fiercely, but the hyena clan does not retreat, determined to execute its strategy. Both sides charge with a ferocious desire to survive, a spectacle of uncompromising power. This is but the beginning of the wild story of the Serengeti, a place whose cycle is marked by two primary seasons, the wet and the dry. Each season here brings a new narrative, initiating profound changes in the lives of all species. The animals of this land have evolved unique characteristics, distinct from their relatives anywhere else. March brings the first rains, awakening life across the land. Green grasslands stretch to the horizon, with abundant water providing food in immense quantities. This place, with its rich vegetation, has attracted a vast number of herbivores. Most numerous are the great herds of Wildebeest, an iconic species of the African plains. They possess a robust build, measuring about 8 feet in length, with a shoulder height of 4 to 5 feet. The weight of a mature adult can reach 550 pounds, making them one of the Serengeti's largest ungulates. Their grey-brown coat and distinctively curved horns make them easily recognizable. In a challenging ecosystem, the wildebeest is a short grass grazer, feeding mainly on young, low-growing grasses. They graze continuously, consuming a vast quantity of grass to sustain their large bodies. Despite their somewhat cumbersome appearance, wildebeest possess remarkable speed. When pursued, they can reach speeds of 50 miles per hour, outpacing many predators. The entire herd moves like a whirlwind, with each individual forming a solid barrier against enemies. To fall behind for a single second, a moment's delay can determine an individual's fate. Their unity and will to survive are a gift from creation, representing an unshakable resolve. The rainy season marks the peak of the wildebeest calving season. Approximately 500,000 calves are born within the first few weeks, ensuring survival through the power of numbers. Astonishingly, a newborn calf takes a mere 10 minutes to stand and can run with the herd after just 1 hour. During their 8 to 9 month gestation, the mothers have prepared for this moment, ensuring the new generation is adapted. This mass birthing allows the young to be more easily protected and to mature quickly. The wildebeest, the Serengeti's principal migrant, plays a vital role in maintaining the grasslands. The migration is not just a procession, it is an organized processing machine. Zebras are the pioneers. They consume the dry, tough tops of the grasses. This action mows the grass, exposing the softer, more nutritious leaves below for the millions of wildebeest that follow. They do not merely travel together, they need one another. Their migration makes an essential contribution to the savanna's circle of life. Zebras, possessing a unique black and white striped coat, have no two individuals exactly alike. Each bears a distinct design, as if sculpted by the very hand of creation. Their stripes not only contribute to their extraordinary beauty, but also provide remarkable protection. With a body length of 7 to 8 feet, a shoulder height of 4 feet, and a weight of 600 to 800 pounds. When necessary, a zebra can accelerate to 40 miles per hour, becoming a blur of black and white. Unity is the key to their survival. When moving as a herd, their stripes blend together. In early March, when green grass carpets the Serengeti plains and water is still plentiful, the zebra mares begin to give birth. This occurs after a gestation period of 12 to 13 months, the longest among the migrating herbivores. In each birth, a zebra produces only a single foal, weighing between 55 and 66 pounds. Within just 20 minutes of birth, the foal can stand, and after an hour, it can run alongside its mother. With a life of constant migration, a young zebra has no time for weakness. The nimble footsteps of the zebra foals following the migration fade, giving way to the majestic and serene presence of the African buffalo. The African buffalo, an unmistakable symbol of power in the African wilderness. Moving slowly through the damp meadows, the African buffalo takes advantage of the lush pastures and abundant water. With its enormous size, the African buffalo is one of Africa's iconic Big Five. It is distinguished by a shoulder height that can reach 5.5 feet and a weight of 1,100 to 2,000 pounds. Their large, thick, backward curving horns, which can be over 3 feet long, do more than just protect them from predators. Without the speed or urgency of the antelope, herds of African buffalo advance with slow, deliberate steps. African buffalo often live in large herds, sometimes numbering in the hundreds, forming a formidable moving wall. Unity is key to their survival. When they feel threatened, the entire herd will bunch together. Their strength comes not only from individuals, but from the cohesive spirit of the entire community. During the rainy season, the buffalo herds do more than just graze on the green plains. Their presence brings a peaceful yet powerful rhythm to the Serengeti grasslands. When water and young grass are abundant, African buffalo enter their most active breeding season. With a gestation period of 11.5 months, the female typically gives birth to a single calf weighing from 66 to 110 pounds. Newly born, the calf quickly stands and joins the herd, where it is protected by the group's cohesion. The herd forms a defensive circle, with the adults surrounding the young in the center. As one of the largest grazers, the African buffalo not only helps control the growth of coarse grasses, hidden in the great, full-flowing rivers, the hippopotamus, the Serengeti's enigmatic giant, slowly emerges. Of immense size, the hippopotamus weighs from 2,900 to 4,000 pounds and can be up to 11.5 feet long. Its thick, pale grey skin is distinctive, almost hairless, except for a few stiff bristles around the muzzle. Its round eyes, broad nose, and small ears are set high on its head. A striking feature is its long, sharp canine teeth, which can grow up to 20 inches and serve as formidable weapons. With its wide lips and incredibly strong jaws, a hippo can generate a bite force of up to 1,800 psi, one of the most powerful bites. Their resonant roars, which sound like thunder as they warn off intruders, are an unmistakable sound. The rainy season not only brings abundant water, but also marks the most active breeding period for hippos. The females, pregnant for 8 months, choose to give birth in the water to avoid the attention of predators. At birth, the hippo calves, weighing between 55 and 110 pounds, can instinctively swim and dive. By observing its mother's silhouette, the calf finds a protective shield, allowing it to explore. A mother hippo cares for her young with great devotion and will readily attack any threat. The deep, cool waters of the rainy season become the hippo's characteristic domain, a sanctuary. Hippos defend their territory and their pods fiercely, confronting any threat with aggression. Furthermore, hippos create water channels in rivers and streams and enrich the soil with their dung. Alongside the giant hippos, the lake is also home to a bird of equally unique appearance, the African spoonbill. Clad in brilliant white plumage that contrasts with its bright red face and legs, it embodies a serene elegance amidst the harsh wetlands. Its most distinctive feature is its long, flat bill, which widens at the tip like a spoon, a marvel of evolution designed specifically for foraging. Unlike other wading birds that hunt by sight, the spoonbill forages using its highly sensitive sense of touch. It strides slowly through the shallow water, continuously sweeping its submerged bill from side to side in a rhythmic arc. The slightest vibration from fish, crustaceans, or aquatic insects cannot escape this sensitive trap. When prey is detected, the bill snaps shut with lightning speed, ensuring a hearty meal in the heart of the lake. Their presence not only enhances the natural scenery, but also indicates clean water and a healthy aquatic ecosystem. Against the golden glow of sunset reflecting on the lake, the silhouettes of spoonbills flying to their roost paint a peaceful end to a long day of survival. Together with the hippos, this bird creates a symphony of diversity, affirming the vibrant life force of the legendary Serengeti. As the wet season ends, the Serengeti plains transform, giving way to the scorching heat of the first dry season. In June, the grass begins to wither, and the waterholes gradually evaporate under the intense sun. With no other choice, the herds must begin an arduous journey north, where water still remains. This difficult journey lasts from June to September, under the Serengeti's burning sun. The scattered acacia woodlands and the Grumeti River appear as the only oasis. The tall acacia canopies provide shade, offering a precious respite. The clear waters of the Grumeti River sparkle under the sun, becoming a vital source of life. Although the days are unbearably hot, the nights bring a pleasant coolness. Here, every drop of water symbolizes hope, a motivation to continue the arduous journey. The silent giants of the savannah, the Masai giraffes, stand alone beneath the tall acacia trees. With a serene gaze fixed on the distance, they are an example of nature's unique design. With a total height that can exceed 15 feet, the Masai giraffe comfortably browses on the freshest leaves. Their tongues, which can be up to 20 inches long, are incredibly flexible, allowing them to reach the most delicious foliage. This special adaptation allows them to exploit an exclusive food source on the savannah. They live a separate existence, rarely competing with other herbivores. The coat of the Masai giraffe, with its dark, jagged patches on a brown background, does more than just provide camouflage. These patches are not as rounded as in other giraffe species. They are darker, more elongated, and more angular. Large eyes and sensitive ears allow them to detect movements from a distance, giving them time to escape any threat. On the arid lands of the Serengeti, the first rays of sun begin to illuminate the plains. The ground trembles under the steady footsteps of silent giants, the African elephants. With a height of up to 13 feet and a weight exceeding 12,000 pounds, the elephant herd looks like a moving, living fortress. Under the scorching heat, their versatile trunks, composed of 40,000 muscles, work tirelessly. In the dry season, the elephant does not just find water, it creates it. Using its trunk and tusks to dig into dry riverbeds, it creates water holes. But here is the magic. It does not keep the water for itself. This well becomes a public bath, saving the lives of hundreds of other species, from birds to leopards. The elephant is the ecosystem's chief engineer. The herd continues its journey north, clearing paths as they move through the dense woodlands. What may seem like destruction is in fact a natural process of regeneration that brings new life. Sunlight reaches the lower grass layers, stimulating the growth of young shoots. Each adult elephant can consume about 330 pounds of vegetation per day, sometimes even more for the large bulls. On their journey, they act as natural sowers of seeds. Thanks to them, the savanna is painted with a fresh green every day. More than just silent giants, elephants also symbolize unbreakable love and unity. They live in family groups, following in the footsteps of the matriarch, usually the oldest and most experienced female. When a weaker member needs protection, the other elephants form a solid circle around it. Inside that shelter, the calves, after 22 months in the womb, learn to use their trunks. As dusk falls, while the elephants proceed with their calm advance, they leave deep footprints on their path. In the Serengeti, these are the traces of a journey where life and survival are interwoven, carrying a sacred mission. Nature always finds a way to express its diversity, and not all reptiles are small in size. The Nile monitor is one of the most majestic creatures of the Serengeti. The largest individuals can reach a length of 7 feet and weigh from 33 to 44 pounds. This is one of the largest lizard species in Africa. The Nile monitor is exceptionally adaptable. Its long, powerful body, covered in brown scales with yellow bands, allows it to camouflage itself. Strong legs and sharp claws make it an excellent climber. It is also an expert swimmer. The Nile monitor is an omnivorous reptile with an extremely varied diet thanks to its keen predatory instincts. It often stalks its prey in silence before launching a surprise attack with a powerful bite. Its diet includes fish, amphibians like frogs, large insects, birds, and especially bird eggs. Its climbing ability allows it to easily access nests in trees. In the Serengeti ecosystem, the Nile monitor plays a crucial role in regulating the populations of small animals. They act as silent guardians in the riparian zones, preventing overpopulation. These seemingly discreet creatures are a clear testament to the harshness of nature. Under the scorching heat of the Serengeti's dry season, a shadow appears silently among the low bushes and dense foliage. The leopard, with its agile body 1.5 to 5 feet long and weighing up to 200 pounds, unlike other predators, the leopard does not need to display its strength or cause devastation. On the open plains, the leopard skillfully uses dry bushes and shadows for camouflage. When the moment is right, it pounces with a powerful force, propelled by its strong hind legs. It reaches speeds of up to 36 miles per hour in a few seconds, covering 20 feet in a single leap. Even in the act of hunting, the leopard maintains an absolute silence, as if obeying a rule. In denser areas, the leopard's hunting technique becomes more versatile, but no less ruthless. Hidden in the shadows, its spotted coat blends with the surroundings, making any movement almost invisible. When prey enters its range, the leopard attacks with a powerful bite of about 350 psi. Thanks to its exceptional climbing ability, the leopard drags its prey up to the highest branches. Under the dense foliage, the Serengeti's leopard enjoys its prize in absolute tranquility. The leopard is not only a silent and formidable predator, but also a symbol of a primal survival instinct. It is a tangible testament to the circle of life, where each creature is created to fulfill a unique role. As a solitary predator, the leopard plays an important role in regulating the populations of smaller animals. July marks the beginning of the great arduous migration across the Serengeti savanna. Over 1,200,000 wildebeest, along with 750,000 zebras and countless herds of gazelles. The thundering of hooves, clouds of dust, and the incessant panting echo across the arid plains. The most severe challenge of this journey is the Mara River, the final daunting barrier. Many animals collapse from exhaustion. Some fall prey to the monsters of the Mara, and only the strongest survive. Beneath the seeming tranquility of the Mara River lie deadly dangers. Giant Nile crocodiles lurk in silence. These reptiles, almost invisible in the murky water. With an impressive length of up to 20 feet and a weight exceeding 2,200 pounds, the Nile crocodiles are the undisputed kings. The Mara River, seemingly peaceful, suddenly transforms into a stage for uncompromising confrontations. On the riverbank, the herds of wildebeest and zebra hesitate, full of doubt. In the water, the predators wait patiently, as if they control the flow of time, waiting in silence. The river before them becomes mysterious and still, as if offering a subtle warning. Despite the pressure and hesitation, they have no other choice. They must cross. A few brave animals move forward and plunge into the murky water, breaking the surface with decisive leaps. As soon as the splash is heard, the silence is shattered by the sudden appearance of the predators. From the riverbed, a giant crocodile emerges at a speed of 22 miles per hour. The sound of splashing water mixes with the desperate cries of the herd, echoing through the air. In an instant, the crocodile's powerful jaws clamp down on its prey. With a bite force of 5,000 psi, nearly 3 times that of a lion, the attack is over. The hunt ends in seconds, but the air becomes thick and oppressive. Beneath the surface of the Mara River, the dominant predators continue to lurk, silent and patient. The river sinks back into an absolute silence, as if the battle had never happened. Can a species survive without depending on water, even in the most arid regions? After the intense chases on the savannah, thick clouds appear on the horizon. October arrives, and with it, the short rainy season, a spectacular transition that awakens life. The first drops of rain fall on the Serengeti like an unexpected gift, reawakening all life. Answering nature's call, the herds once again begin their migration towards the promised land. This journey is not just a search for food, but an immersion into an endless rhythm. As December arrives, the migration cycle closes with the return of the dry season. Will we let this magnificent spectacle remain only in memory, or will we rise to the challenge? An urgent cry for help echoes from the Serengeti, where the planet's greatest migrations are under threat. This ecosystem is not just a natural wonder, but also a source of life for millions of species. If we do not act immediately, we will lose a priceless heritage. These problems do not only stem from natural phenomena, but also silently arise from human intervention. Climate change and habitat loss are always primary concerns. The average temperature in the Serengeti has risen by about 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit in recent decades. Furthermore, agricultural expansion and infrastructure construction have put immense pressure on the Serengeti. The sky is torn open by a bolt of lightning, striking the cracked earth at the feet of the Lozi people. The ground still steams after the first rains of the season. Tens of thousands of creatures abandon the parched land, scorched by the sun for 6 long months. They embark on an arduous journey. Ahead lie raging rivers. Ambushing predators. And relentless pursuits. Can they survive this journey of life and death? Over 20 years ago, the Liua Plain was nearly silent, a consequence of rampant poaching. The migration of 60,000 blue wildebeest had dwindled by more than half. The African buffalo numbered fewer than 50 individuals. Lions were hunted to local extinction, leaving only Lady Liua in a silent, solitary existence. Thanks to decisive conservation measures, nature is slowly being reborn. During the dry season, with diurnal temperature ranges of nearly 86 degrees Fahrenheit, a few blue wildebeest graze, scattered around scarce waterholes. Only when thunderstorms, with their rain and gusting winds, appear on the horizon, does the great migration of over 45,000 blue wildebeest truly begin. This beginning is not by chance. The wildebeest possesses an innate storm compass. They can sense shifts in atmospheric pressure and hear the low-frequency rumbles of rain from tens, even hundreds of miles away. It is this acute sense that triggers their migratory instinct, turning the first flashes of lightning into a starting gun for their epic journey. Joining them are plains, zebra, and some 700 red lechwe. This journey also attracts around 350 spotted hyenas, the dominant predators here. African wild dogs do not roar. They communicate with glances and synchronized steps before swirling in to encircle the weakest individual left behind. And so, amidst this spectacular migration, the Liua Plain transforms into an inescapable labyrinth of survival. Covering over 1,300 square miles, the Liua Plain is an open space of majestic, almost overwhelming beauty. There are no towering mountains or dense forests, only a sea of grass, stretching out as flat as a sheet of paper. The origins of this land lie in ancient alluvial deposits left by former tributaries of the Zambezi River system. Each rainy season, the waters rise and then recede, creating a layer of fertile soil and ephemeral pans. It is this flow, combined with the flat and slightly concave terrain, that has shaped Liua a seasonal floodplain where life is in constant motion. The rainy season lasts from November to April. Its thunderstorms, accompanied by lightning, can generate winds exceeding 37 miles per hour. In the dry season, daytime temperatures often exceed 95 degrees Fahrenheit, while at night they can drop below 50 degrees. But even in these harsh conditions, Liua is vibrant. Over 50 species of mammal make their home here. As the ground begins to crack and the dry wind carries dust across the withered grasslands, Liua enters its most unforgiving phase of the year. The dry season arrives, leaving lagoons empty, grasslands scorched by the intense sun, and life concentrated around the few remaining water sources. With a diurnal temperature swing of nearly 86 degrees Fahrenheit, this environment becomes a severe test of survival. As the water recedes, the distribution of species changes dramatically. As the sun continues to bake the arid savanna, the blue wildebeest begin to stir, embarking on a challenging odyssey. Each year, as the rains cease and the grasslands deplete, the herds move from the low, arid regions in the north and northeast of the park. They head towards the Musangashi floodplains, the last bastion of green and one of the few places where pools of water remain. As nutrients become scarce, the wildebeest are forced to change their feeding habits. Though they prefer short grasses, during the dry season, they must consume less nutritious, stunted vegetation. The blue wildebeest's form is a clear reflection of its journey of survival, with a powerful chest and well-developed muscles built for long-distance travel. Its silvery coat, a mix of grey and brown, helps it blend into the landscape and lessens the impact of the sun. The blue wildebeest possesses a sophisticated communication system to maintain stability in an ever-changing environment. They live in large herds, forming a sensitive, reactive network where each individual observes, analyzes, and acts on the signals around it. Scientists call this phenomenon swarm intelligence, a natural mechanism that helps them respond to danger. The plains zebra is the most numerous zebra in Africa, found mainly on vast grasslands, savannas, and in open woodlands. Their distinctive appearance makes the plains zebra one of the most recognizable icons of the African savanna. The black and white stripes that cover each individual's body form a unique pattern. No two are exactly alike. Researchers suggest these stripes help regulate temperature and may also serve to disorient blood-sucking insects. On the Liua Plain, plains zebras live in small, stable family groups, consisting of a single stallion, several mares, and their young. During the dry season, zebra families move frequently to access areas where water and fresh grass can still be found. When threatened by a predator, the plains zebra relies not only on its speed, but also on a collective reflex to escape. When one individual spots danger and begins to flee, a chain reaction instantly spreads, causing the entire herd to act in unison. Equipped with powerful legs, a zebra can reach a top speed of up to 40 miles per hour when fleeing a predator. On the sun-scorched savanna, a herd of zebra moves quietly through the dry grass. Their black and white stripes ripple with every step, an optical illusion that blends into the vast landscape. But other eyes are watching, cold, patient, and calculating. In the low scrub, a lioness lowers her body to the ground. She has been waiting for hours, every muscle tensed like a drawn bow. Her target is a young zebra, momentarily separated from the herd and unguarded. The distance shortens. The savannah seems to hold its breath. Just a few more seconds, a pounce, a fatal strike. But just as death seems imminent, a cacophony of shrill, discordant sounds echoes from a distance. A clan of hyenas is approaching. Their raw, rasping laughter shatters the air. Hyenas specialists in opportunism, ever ready to steal the spoils of another's labor. The lioness freezes instantly. She knows that if she attacks now, the zebra's dying cries will bring the entire hyena clan racing in. And instead of a feast, she will face an overwhelming battle. The terrified zebra bolts, rejoining the safety of the herd. A narrow escape, the terror still visible in its eyes. Meanwhile, the lioness stands motionless, a look of regret in her eyes, but reason forces her to withdraw. Silence returns, with only the mocking laughter of the hyenas lingering on the breeze. On the savannah, it is not always the strongest who wins. Sometimes, life and death are decided by the unexpected arrival of a third party. For the lion, a missed opportunity. For the zebra, a moment of fleeting rebirth. And for the hyenas, it is the prelude to another hunt, where they lie in wait for their chance to join the feast of flesh and blood. In the harsh cycle of nature, every breath, every footstep, can be turned by unforeseen forces. And it is this very uncertainty that composes the endless, wild symphony of the African savanna. The magnificent return of the king of predators. By the end of the 20th century, lions had completely vanished from these Zambian plains. Alone on the savannah, Lady Liua was a symbol of what the Liua Plain had lost. But from her solitary footsteps, a new generation of lions has returned. Their story marks the spectacular comeback of lions to this place. As a species with a unique social structure, lions live in prides, typically comprising 1 or 2 adult males, several related females, and their cubs. Unlike most other large cats, lions have developed the ability to hunt cooperatively and defend their territory as a group. During the dry season, when the food chain narrows, lions rely not only on their strength but also on their strategy. Prey such as plains, zebra, blue wildebeest, or even buffalo are all potential targets if the ambush is perfectly timed. It is a little-known fact that the lionesses are the primary force in these strategic hunts. They cooperate in silence, approaching their prey from multiple angles. Some advance through the tall grass, while others circle ahead, waiting for the chance to cut off the escape route. The ideal distance is closed to between 65 and 100 feet, and then it all explodes in a lightning-fast chase. Biologically, the lion is the second largest cat in the world, after the tiger. The male's magnificent mane is a symbol used to attract mates and protect his neck during fights. Every failed hunt carries greater consequences. Prolonged hunger can threaten the entire pride, especially the young cubs who are not yet able to hunt. On the long, dry days, one of the most common sights on the parched grasslands is the slender, muscular silhouette of the tsessebe. They are the fastest antelope in Africa, capable of reaching speeds of up to 56 miles per hour. That speed is not just a number, it is the result of millions of years of evolution. Found primarily in open grasslands, lightly wooded savannas, and seasonal wetlands, the tsessebe ranges from Angola to Zambia, Botswana, and Namibia. During the dry months, as water evaporates from the pans, they move to areas where vegetation persists. Socially, tsessebe live in small groups of 6 to 20 individuals, usually led by a dominant male. The male selects a high vantage point, like a termite mound, to watch over his females, establishing a breeding territory and defending it from rivals. Outside the breeding season, herds tend to merge into larger groups or join with herds of blue wildebeest to optimize their defense. The tsesebe's diet focuses on young grass, but when this is scarce in the dry season, they switch to consuming other plants of lower nutritional value. On the cracked earth, the delicate paw prints of a cheetah are imprinted in the fine dust, leaving one of the few signs of one of the Liua Plain's most solitary predators. Amidst the drought and increasing competition, the cheetah's struggle for survival becomes a sharp portrait of sophisticated evolution. The cheetah is the fastest land animal, capable of reaching 68 miles per hour in just a few seconds, accelerating from 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. Its long, flexible spine acts like a spring, increasing the length of each stride. Its long, slender legs work as precise levers. However, this speed is a double-edged sword. Each chase lasts less than a minute and rarely exceeds 1,000 feet, as maintaining such high speed rapidly increases its body temperature. They are most active at dawn and dusk, taking advantage of the cooler hours and avoiding the presence of larger predators. Unlike many carnivores, cheetahs rarely scavenge and almost never eat animals they haven't killed themselves. In the world of big cats, the cheetah has a rather unique social structure. Females tend to live alone, staying with their cubs only until they can fend for themselves. Currently, The total number of adult cheetahs in the wild is only around 6,500, concentrated mainly in Namibia, Botswana, and a few protected reserves. Unlike the cheetah, the African wild dog is one of the most social carnivores in the animal kingdom. Each individual possesses a unique coat with a mix of black, yellow, brown, and white splotches, as if someone had flicked paint onto their fur. These patterns function as identification within the pack, helping to maintain cohesion as they hunt across open terrain. With large, rounded ears, they not only sense distant movements, but also use them to dissipate heat. Their social structure revolves around an alpha pair. Only the dominant male and female reproduce, while the entire pack cares for the pups. This tight social bond has created the most efficient hunting group in Africa, with a success rate that can reach 70 to 90%. It may be hard to believe, but this truth is astonishing. The wild dog's coordination is, remarkably, democratic. Before embarking on a hunt, the pack holds a social rally. Researchers have discovered that they vote on whether to begin the hunt by sneezing. If enough dogs sneeze, especially high-ranking ones, the entire pack sets off in unison. It is a democracy decided by olfaction. This is due to a collective tactic, organized like a battle formation. Each individual plays a specific role, from chasing to cornering and blocking. The pack's solidarity is not only shown in the hunt, but also in caring for the young and sharing food. This strategy is so effective that even the fastest prey has little chance of escape, especially when the hunt takes place on open terrain like the Liua Plain. The pack's unity is evident not just in the hunt, but also in the care of its young and the sharing of food. It is the foundation of a sustainable social system, where survival depends not just on individual strength, but on the sacrifice and absolute cooperation of its members. The pack quickly established a new territory, adapted to the local prey, and has since recorded successful births. Their growing presence is like a gift from creation to those who have chosen to protect the wild and pristine nature of the Liua Plain. In the stillness of the dry season, one predator is monitoring every movement from hundreds of feet above. A creature that exudes a cold, majestic presence, the martial eagle. Against the clear blue sky, its wingspan of over 8 feet stretches out unhurriedly. The martial eagle is the largest eagle in Africa, with a body length of up to 38 inches and a weight that can reach 14 pounds. That impressive body comes with a grip in its talons capable of breaking a man's arm. However, what truly makes this bird's reputation is its phenomenal eyesight, a hunting advantage second to none. In the arid environment, Liua's wide-open vistas allow it to spot prey from a distance of over 3 miles. When the moment is right, it stoops at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, extending its muscular legs like spears launched from the heavens. The struggle for survival in the dry season depends not only on speed or strength, but also on endurance. With a low reproductive rate and a requirement for vast territories, even a small change in their environment can severely affect their future in the wild. As the martial eagle's powerful dive concludes in the enveloping silence of the savanna, higher in the sky, the white-backed vulture appears quietly, continuing a discreet but essential journey. Under the harsh sun that is turning the Liua Plain into a sea of dust, the persistent circling of this vulture reveals a different rhythm of life. The white-backed vulture is one of the largest and, in the past, most common vultures in Africa. Its body measures 30 to 38 inches, with a wingspan of 6.5 to 7.5 feet, and it can weigh over 15 pounds. Their characteristic white back, visible only when they spread their wings, along with a featherless head and neck, allows them easy access to carcasses and reduces the risk of infection. This bird can locate a carcass from a great distance thanks to its sharp eyesight. During the dry season, when herbivores like the blue wildebeest and plain zebra face high mortality rates from lack of water and exhaustion, the role of the white-backed vulture becomes crucial. They often gather in large groups, sometimes hundreds of individuals, and can completely clean the carcass of a medium-sized animal in less than an hour. Thanks to an extremely efficient digestive system, they can break down tissues containing bacteria and pathogens without being affected, helping to prevent the spread of disease. There was a time when their population was estimated at 270,000 individuals. But by 2024, the species had declined by over 80% in the last 50 years and is now listed as critically endangered. The primary cause is poisoning, often from feeding on carcasses containing pesticides, veterinary drugs like diclofenac, or from being targeted in poisoning incidents aimed at eliminating lions. As the storms return and rain greens the arid land, the Liua Plain welcomes a black cavalry galloping across the savanna. Each heavy footstep of the African buffalo sinks deep into the soft earth, carrying the pulse of an entire ecosystem that runs on the strength of the herd and a well-honed memory. The African buffalo is the largest wild bovine still living in Africa, known by the nickname Black Death due to its unpredictable temperament and aggressive response when attacked. A mature bull can weigh from 1,900 to nearly 2,000 pounds, with a shoulder height of up to 5.5 feet. Their characteristic curved horns fuse to form a solid bony mass, acting as a helmet in collisions and as a lethal weapon. Unlike many herbivores that leave Liua during the wet season, African buffalo remain and move locally, shifting laterally from high ground to fresh pastures. Their special adaptation to marshy and wet terrain allows them to maintain a stable food source without needing to undertake long-distance migrations. This shift in location follows a directional movement pattern based on the spatial memory of the oldest individuals in the herd. Smell plays a major role for the African buffalo in detecting water sources and recognizing danger from afar. Recent studies indicate they can detect the scent of a lion from a distance of over 1.5 miles, allowing them to quickly redirect the group. Although their sight and hearing are not exceptional, they compensate with a keen awareness and the collective memory of the herd, maintaining a high level of vigilance. The social structure of this species is based on strong coordination and cohesion among individuals. A herd of African buffalo can range from a few dozen to over 300, led by experienced adults. When threatened, instead of scattering, they immediately form a defensive phalanx. Their mass grazing helps control the height of vegetation, allowing terrestrial birds and smaller herbivores to access their food. Additionally, the gentle compaction and aeration of the soil by their hooves promote grass regeneration and stimulate the growth of soil microorganisms. On the verdant carpet, a small antelope with elegantly curved horns thrives. With long, narrow hooves, the red lechwe moves gracefully over the soft mud, as if born to belong here. On their forelegs, prominent black stripes stand out like markings painted by the hand of creation, helping them recognize one another in the flooded grasslands. In Liua, where water is not just a source of life but the stage for every biological cycle, a population of about 700 red lechwe resides year-round. They do not migrate long distances like the blue wildebeest or plain zebra, but they do make movements in response to changes in the depth and quality of the aquatic vegetation. The body of the red lechwe has a biological structure optimized for a semi-aquatic environment. An adult male can reach a height of nearly 4 feet and weigh around 265 pounds. The females are slightly smaller. Their coat is covered in a natural oil that provides waterproofing and helps them maintain body temperature while submerged for hours in cool, flooded areas. They also use water as a living shield. When a predator gives chase, the whole herd plunges into deep water, leveraging their ability to swim and move quickly. In this way, they become a vital link in the wetland ecosystem, regulating the biomass of aquatic vegetation and creating safe corridors. With their agile bodies, they are frequent prey for the king of the night. Without a deafening roar or phenomenal speed, the leopard survives through silence, persistence, and near absolute precision. A solitary hunter in a flooded land. According to a 2024 report by African Parks, only a small number of leopards have been recorded in Liua, distributed in higher areas and along watercourses not covered by dense vegetation. Although this population consists of only a few dozen individuals, It is enough to fulfill the role of an apex predator in the food chain, even during the rainy season. The rainy season in Liua brings both opportunities and challenges for the leopard. As the water spreads, herds of blue wildebeest, zebra, and red lechwe move to the grasslands that rise above the water. However, this also means the terrain becomes more complex and unstable. For a leopard, every step requires careful calculation. Unlike lions, which are often limited in wet conditions, leopards move more easily thanks to their average weight of 90 to 155 pounds, depending on their sex. With no need for long chases, the leopard often chooses to approach its prey from behind or from the side, using bushes, mounds, or even the sound of the rain to mask its movements. A precise leap to the neck or nape is enough to bring down its prey. In the rainy season, when the scent of blood is diluted and dispersed by water, the ability to haul a kill into a tree becomes a vital survival factor. Hauling a kill into a tree not only protects it from scavengers, but also reduces the dispersal of its scent, avoiding the attention of raptors or other predators. The rainy season also coincides with the breeding period. Although leopards do not have a fixed mating season, the high humidity and abundance of small prey create ideal conditions for reproduction. After mating, the female finds a hollow tree, a tall thicket, or an abandoned termite mound to give birth and raise her cubs in silence. Without a complex social system, leopards are utterly solitary. They do not share territory or food. Each individual marks its home range with urine, feces, and claw marks. Though not numerous, the leopard's existence here is a clear testament to its resilience. A silent, proud monarch, needing no spotlight to hold its place. In the skies across the whole of sub-Saharan Africa, the African fish eagle is present in more than 35 countries, and in Zambia it is considered a national emblem representing freedom, strength, and an independent spirit. The image of the fish eagle soaring over the wetlands, light reflecting off its white plumage, is an inseparable part of the region's cultural and ecological identity. As the waters begin to rise and fish swim upstream from the flooded channels, the African fish eagle becomes more visible than ever. It does not appear in large flocks, but quietly chooses a high branch of an old tree by the water's edge, where the view is sufficient to track every silver flash of a fish under the sun. With a wingspan of up to nearly 8 feet and a weight of 4.5 to nearly 8 pounds, it is light enough to circle continuously in the sky, yet powerful enough to dive with millisecond precision. The structure of its feet is specially adapted for a life on the river. Small, hook-like barbs cover the soles of its feet, allowing it to grip slippery fish, not letting go even in flight. Once it has caught its prey, it can transport it hundreds of feet to its nest without stopping. Its main diet is fish, but when fish are dispersed or the water level rises to a point that reduces its ability to hunt below the surface, it switches to hunting waterfowl, turtles, and wild ducks. The rainy season is not only ideal for hunting, but also for nesting and breeding. Lifelong pairs often return to the same nest. And so, amidst the sound of the early season wind blowing through the reeds and the rippling water, a silhouette with broad wings glides across the sky, carrying the millennia-old essence of a supreme predator that has no need for noise. The African fish eagle is not just a bird of prey. It is the silent embodiment of a nature that operates with precision and freedom. Unlike the strategic endurance of the blue wildebeest, the zebra relies more on social organization and observation to survive. The plain zebra is of average size among the 3 zebra species. Its body is well proportioned, with a short, strong neck. Erect ears and long legs, with a single hoof in the middle, allow it to move swiftly over flooded terrain. An adult weighs between 485 and 660 pounds and stands about 4 to 4.5 feet at the shoulder. When food is plentiful and the plains are vast, many family groups merge to form large herds, increasing security and creating a more powerful migratory force. Cohesion within each group is maintained through mutual grooming, physical contact, and communication signals such as sounds and movements of the ears and tail. The end of the rainy season is also a critical time for reproduction. Females typically have a gestation period of 12 to 13 months and choose this time to give birth. The foal can stand within minutes and follow its mother shortly after, a crucial adaptation for a migratory lifestyle. If danger threatens, the stallion protects them, taking up the rear during a move or separating from the group to distract a predator. As is the way of nature, the migration of such desirable prey as blue wildebeest and plain zebra always attracts hungry predators. In 2024, Zambia experienced its most severe drought in over 2 decades. This situation, exacerbated by prolonged dry spells linked to the El Niño phenomenon, caused a critical drop in rainfall, depleting water sources and leading to widespread food shortages. This disaster directly affected 84 of the country's 116 districts, including the Western Province, home to Liua Plain National Park. The situation pushed many members of the communities connected to Liua, who work day and night to protect and care for life here, into a state of deprivation and desperation. Although there is no specific data on wildlife losses in Liua Plain during this period, the negative impact on the environment and human life is undeniable. Amidst these challenges, hope continues to burn like a guiding light in the darkness, leading people through nature's most demanding moments. The Liua Community Resource Board, in coordination with 10 community action groups, launched a $250,000 aid program, distributing food transparently. This program reflects the region's spirit of solidarity and constant adaptability. After a prolonged drought, the Liua Plain began its recovery process with the reintroduction of buffalo, lions, and African wild dogs, species that have bred successfully since their return in 2022. By 2024, more than 20 lions had settled, while the migration of 40,000 blue wildebeest continues to sustain the ecosystem and promote the return of rare bird species. A system of camera traps, GPS, and a staff that is over 95% local contributes to sustainable monitoring and conservation. The Liua Plain has been reborn thanks to the tireless efforts of people and nature working together. But for the migrating footsteps to continue uninterrupted, every action taken today has a vital meaning. And if you have ever visited Liua Plain National Park, do not hesitate to share your knowledge and experience. It will be a source of inspiration and motivation for efforts to conserve nature and wildlife, and to protect these ecosystems for generations to come. In a land that challenges every breath, its existence is a testament to nature's most enduring design. This is not an easy place to survive, but it is in this harshness that every deliberate step of the Somali ostrich becomes a symbol of endurance, of adaptation, and of silent strength. Unlike its more common cousin, the Somali ostrich has no white ring around its neck. Instead, it possesses a striking blue hue. This vibrant color on its neck and thighs becomes even brighter in the male during the breeding season. That turquoise skin is more than an ornament. It attracts mates, but it also reflects an ancient adaptation. A white tuft of tail feathers distinguishes the male, replacing the black and white pattern of other ostrich subspecies. It is a subtle sign in a place where the smallest differences can determine survival. As tall as a man and often heavier, the Somali ostrich can reach a height of 7.9 feet and weigh up to 254 pounds. It cannot fly, nor does it hunt, but it runs with a phenomenal speed. At 43 miles per hour, it escapes danger with thunderous strides. On the Atta Plateau, where the vegetation is sparse and the ground is open, the ostrich has an advantage. It can spot danger from afar. A typical omnivore, the Somali ostrich takes what this land offers: leaves, roots, wildflowers, and seeds. Succulent plants provide precious moisture when drought grips the plains. And when greenery is scarce, it does not hesitate to eat insects or small animals. Here, they often live alone or in pairs, especially during the breeding season or when scarcity forces them into a solitary existence. When the dry season becomes severe and the plateau's vegetation withers, they move towards the Galana River. Not in great herds like the migrating ungulates, but in small, flexible groups, guided not by spectacle, but by the instinct for survival. In this timeless land, even the ostrich understands that survival belongs not to the strongest, but to the most skillfully adapted. Also blessed with long legs and a talent for concealment, the lesser kudu moves like a ghost through the thickets of Tsavo. Its reddish-brown coat is punctuated by vertical white stripes, patterns that are more than just camouflage. They seem to merge with the shadows of the trees. This is one of Africa's most elusive antelopes, a creature born of silence, shaped by stillness. Each kudu bears between 11 and 14 ghostly stripes along its flanks. This camouflage is so precise that even the sharpest of predators' eyes can be deceived. Its oversized, rounded ears are in constant motion. They act as natural satellite dishes, capable of detecting even the faintest rustle of danger. But this antelope does not live in herds. The males wander alone or in pairs. The females move in a small, quiet collective. It is a life of discretion, an evolutionary trade-off, sacrificing recognition for the ability to be almost invisible. However, when danger strikes, the lesser kudu does not stand still. It explodes. With a single leap, it can clear over 30 feet and jump more than 6.5 feet high. Primarily a browser, it feeds on leaves, fallen fruit, young shoots, and herbs. It rarely drinks, absorbing moisture from its food. When the sun scorches the Yata Plateau above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, the kudu retreats into the shade of the thorn trees. During prolonged droughts, some individuals make discreet trips to the greener areas along the Galana River, but they never migrate in mass. Unlike many territorial animals, the lesser kudu avoids conflict. The males rarely fight, and only do so when cornered. But even the most gentle of creatures are never free from danger. On the open plains and in the hidden clearings of Tsavo, predators are always lurking. And for the lesser kudu, survival is a constant game of wits. One wrong move, and the shadows it blends into could become the jaws from which it cannot escape. Where the lesser kudu weaves through the thorny bush to escape the harsh sun, a silent, dark form emerges. The Tsavo lion, a symbol of primal power and survival instinct. It is unlike any other lion in Africa. This predator has evolved not only to endure the extreme heat of Tsavo East, but to dominate it. The lion population in this land is relatively small, only about 450 individuals, according to the latest data in 2024. This number equates to just 1.88 lions per 38 square miles, a worrying decline compared to decades ago. But what they lack in numbers, they make up for in mystique. The Tsavo male lion, often mistaken for a sub-adult, has no mane, or at most, just a few rough tufts around its neck. Gone is the thick, majestic cloak of the Serengeti. Here, evolution has stripped away the appearance to prioritize survival. In a land where daily temperatures can exceed 91 degrees Fahrenheit, a thick mane is more of a burden than a symbol of power. The lack of a mane may help these lions regulate their body temperature more effectively, an adaptation tailored for this semi-desert furnace. However, the lions of Tsavo are more than a biological anomaly. They are the inheritors of a chilling legend, a story written in blood. The vast landscape, dotted with tall grasses and scattered bushes, is an ideal arena for the cheetah to display its incredible speed and exceptional hunting talent. The cheetah's body has undergone a remarkable evolutionary process, equipping it to thrive in the wild. The cheetah has a light, aerodynamic body which helps reduce air resistance and allows for higher speeds. The cheetah possesses a unique muscle structure, characterized by a high proportion of fast-twitch muscle fibers. These muscle fibers provide explosive power and acceleration, enabling the cheetah to reach speeds of up to 60 to 70 miles per hour in short bursts. These adaptations combine to make the cheetah the fastest land animal, allowing it to hunt effectively in its natural habitat. Over time, these features have been refined through natural selection, ensuring that the cheetah remains proficient at survival and thrives in the wild. While cheetahs are primarily solitary animals, females tend to hunt alone, whereas males often form small groups called coalitions. This social behavior can enhance hunting success, as they can take down larger prey when working together. Cheetahs typically target small to medium-sized ungulates, like gazelles and impalas. They tend to focus on younger, weaker, or injured individuals to increase their chances of a successful hunt. Cheetahs must be vigilant to avoid larger predators like lions and hyenas, which may steal their kills or pose a threat to their cubs. Female cheetahs exhibit strong maternal behavior. They care for their cubs for up to 18 months and teach them essential survival skills. Male cheetahs use scent marking to establish territories and communicate with others. This behavior helps reduce conflict with other males and allows them to maintain a presence in an area with abundant prey. On the vast Serengeti plains, cheetahs face competition from other predators and scavengers. They have adapted by being agile and faster than most other big cats, allowing them to escape threats and focus on hunting during the day. These behaviors are crucial for the cheetah's survival in the wild, enabling them to hunt, reproduce, and evade threats effectively. And among the most extraordinary residents of the plains, one of Africa's most remarkable antelopes stands out, the gerenuk, also known as the giraffe gazelle. At first glance, it seems almost fragile, but every millimeter of its elongated body tells a story of evolutionary ingenuity. With an extra 12 to 16 inches of neck, the gerenuk has unlocked a secret nutritional tier, the leaves and shoots beyond the reach of other antelope species. But the real magic lies in its posture. With a graceful precision, the gerenuk rears up on its hind legs, leaning lightly against a bush. In this vertical ballet, it reaches nearly 6.5 feet into the foliage, browsing where no other antelope can touch. In a world where size often dictates survival, the gerenuk has chosen a different path: height, elegance, and efficiency. Socially, it is just as unique. You will not find large, roaming herds here. The adult males are solitary, defending non-fixed territories with scent marks during the brief breeding season. The females and their young form small, quiet groups of just 2 to 6 individuals, moving like whispers across the savanna. The mothers are incredibly cautious. After giving birth, they meticulously groom their newborn, then hide it deep in the thorny undergrowth. There, for the first few weeks of its life, the young waits in silence while the mother returns to nurse in short, careful visits. In this harsh, sun-baked environment, the gerenuk thrives not through strength or speed, but through adaptation and grace. It is a silent icon of resilience, a creature shaped by the land, refined by necessity, and quietly victorious in one of Africa's harshest places. From the shimmering haze of the heat, another icon emerges, smaller, faster, and no less tenacious. This is the Thompson's gazelle, affectionately known as the Tommy. Small in stature but immense in stamina, the Tommy is one of Africa's fastest land animals, capable of reaching speeds of up to 50 miles per hour. But unlike the cheetah, it has a secret advantage. It is not just speed, but precision. With an incredible agility, it zigzags across the landscape, its hooves barely touching the ground as it twists and turns in an unpredictable dance. And then it leaps. With a sudden jolt, it springs into the air, legs straight, back arched, its body suspended in a perfect arc. This behavior, known as pronking or stotting, may seem like a performance, but science tells a different story. This leap is a coded signal, a warning to others, a defiant display to potential predators. I see you. I am strong. Do not waste your energy. Unlike many other antelopes that are bound to fixed territories, the Thompson's gazelle is a nomad. It follows the rains, the scent of fresh grass. Their herds are fluid and ever-changing, sometimes a dozen, other times thousands, merging and splitting like the desert wind. They often travel with wildebeest and plain zebra, but the Tommy carves its own path. It does not just graze, it selects with care. In this ecosystem, they are the pulse of the hunt, the primary prey of the cheetah. Studies across Tsavo and the Serengeti confirm this intimate link. When the larger prey migrates, the Tommy becomes a keystone species. And still, they endure. With every leap, every evasive turn, the Thompson's gazelle tells a timeless story of elegance shaped by danger. Unlike the solitary sprint of the cheetah on the plains of Tsavo, another predator thrives not in isolation, but in a perfect, almost military, unity: the African wild dog. Known as one of nature's most efficient hunters, this endangered carnivore is as striking in its form as it is in its function. Each individual wears a unique coat, patches of black, red, gold, white, and brown, as if splattered by a careless but brilliant artist. Their large, rounded ears scan like radar dishes, constantly swiveling, listening. Together, they form a living network of awareness. Lean but powerful, with long legs and a deep chest, the wild dog is built not for speed but for stamina. Its strength lies in the relentless pursuit. They are masters of endurance hunting. Although they can sprint up to 37 miles per hour, their power lies in sustaining that pace over punishing distances. A single chase can last for miles. The dogs communicate with barks, yips, and glances, coordinating like a single organism with many limbs. Their efficiency is unparalleled. With a success rate of 60 to 90%, the African wild dog is the most successful predator on the continent. Their targets include medium-sized antelopes or the young of larger species, whatever the pack can overwhelm. When the prey is brought down, the feeding is rapid. Every second is precious, for a lion or a hyena is never far. Within minutes, the bones are stripped clean. And then something extraordinary happens. Those left behind, the nursing mothers, the injured adults, or the pups too young to hunt, are fed by social regurgitation. This profound care extends into the very core of pack life. Only the alpha pair breeds, usually the strongest and most experienced members. After a 75-day gestation, the mother gives birth to up to 20 pups in a hidden den, often a repurposed aardvark burrow or an abandoned termite mound. And from that moment, the entire pack becomes their guardian. The non-breeding adults take on the roles of babysitters, hunters, and protectors. Yet, despite all this effort, life is fragile. Pup mortality remains high, often due to disease, starvation, or predators that slip past the vigilant circle. As of 2024, the global population of adult African wild dogs is estimated at just 1,400 individuals, with a total population hovering around 6,600. In Kenya, remnants of hope remain. Key populations exist in Laikipia, Samburu, and the Greater Tsavo ecosystem. But in Tsavo East, once a thriving haven, their numbers have dwindled. Poaching, encroachment, and the spread of deadly canine diseases have weakened their stronghold. Not gliding through the air, nor slinking through the shadows, but walking with a deliberate grace, this is the secretary bird. A creature of contradictions, the legs of a crane, the head of a hawk, the eyes of a razor, and a curved beak made for destruction. Unlike other birds of prey that dive from the heavens, the secretary bird hunts on foot, walking up to 18 miles a day. Its legs, the longest of any raptor on Earth, are more than just stilts. They are weapons. A single stomp can generate a force 5 times its own body weight. Enough to crush the skull of a venomous snake in an instant, and this is its domain. The secretary bird is one of the few natural predators of Africa's most dangerous snakes, dispatching cobras and adders with surgical precision. But snakes are just one item on a varied menu that includes insects, rodents, lizards, tortoises, young birds, and even freshwater crabs. Its curious name is thought to derive from the black crest of feathers at the back of its head, resembling the quill pens that 19th century British secretaries once tucked behind their ears. But this bird is no desk clerk. It is the sole surviving member of an ancient avian lineage, the family Sagittariidae. Across the vast expanse of Dika, the secretary bird plays a vital ecological role, controlling snake and rodent populations, maintaining a balance in the scorching dry season. This bird is so revered that it appears on the national coats of arms of South Africa and Sudan, a symbol of vigilance and authority. However, it is under threat. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the secretary bird is now listed as endangered. So when its shadow cuts across the fiery savanna, it carries more than a legacy of predation. It is a story of resilience. A rare creature whose very uniqueness has become its greatest strength and its only chance of survival. Winding through riverine thickets and over soft, sun-baked mudflats, the water carries more than life. It carries danger. Imprinted in the mud, long, V-shaped tracks, the silent signatures of a predator unchanged since the time of the dinosaurs, the Nile crocodile. A living relic of evolution, it has stalked the Earth's waterways for over 200 million years. Its body is a near-perfect design, unchanged and unchallenged. The adult males often exceed 16 feet. The largest can surpass 20 feet. At these sizes, it is the largest freshwater reptile in Africa. Its skin is encased in armor-like scales, bony plates under the skin that help deflect wounds and regulate body temperature under the unforgiving sun. But it is what lies within that is truly terrifying. A set of 64 to 68 conical teeth made not for chewing, but for clamping, holding, crushing. Beneath its thick eyelids, a third transparent eyelid, the nictitating membrane, acts as a built-in diving mask, keeping its vision sharp as it submerges and hides. But behind the horror is purpose. The crocodile is not a villain. It is a regulator, a keystone species. By controlling the populations of herbivores, it prevents overgrazing along the riverbanks, protecting the fragile vegetation and maintaining ecological balance. Data confirms that the Nile crocodile density peaks along the Galana during the dry season, when animals have no other option but to approach the water. It is in these quiet, ephemeral stretches of the river, where the air is hot and still, that evolution's most patient predator awaits. Moving to the rhythm of the antelope herds, the plains zebra makes its seasonal pilgrimage along the banks of the Galana River. Drawn by the promise of water amidst the prolonged dry season from June to October. A 2025 ecological survey showed that zebras made up to 34% of all large mammals seen within 2.5 miles of the river. Their bold black and white stripes shimmer in the sun. Each pattern is as unique as a fingerprint. These stripes are more than just markings. They are survival tools. They help zebras recognize one another, visually confusing predators. And according to a 2024 study by Caro and colleagues, they even repel biting flies like horseflies and tsetse flies, reducing disease transmission. When fresh grass vanishes during the dry months, zebras switch to tougher fare. With their strong jaws, broad teeth, and hindgut fermentation system, they digest coarse grasses, bark, and leaves, foraging as both grazers and browsers, bridging the ecological gap between antelope and elephants. Their society is structured around harems, a dominant stallion, a few mares, and their young, held together by gentle grooming and mutual trust. In moments of danger, the adults form a defensive circle around the young. The young are not only cared for by their mothers, but also watched over by the entire herd, and the foals are born ready. A newborn zebra can stand within minutes and run within the first hour, a crucial skill in a world where predators never rest. In the first few days of its life, the mother keeps her newborn isolated. This is not abandonment, but a ritual. It gives the foal time to memorize its mother's scent and stripe pattern, the visual and olfactory code that will bind them for life. As the red sun sets and a veil of dust covers the plains, the herds move forward, step by step across the cracked savanna. It is not just the slender antelopes that traverse the vast expanse of the Galana River. This land is also home to giants. Towering over the acacia trees, the African bush elephant makes its majestic presence known. Over 10 feet tall and weighing up to 6 tons, these are the largest land mammals on Earth. A characteristic feature of the Tsavo elephants is their reddish hue. Stained by a mixture of mud and iron-rich laterite soil, they wear the land like a suit of armor. Their enormous, fan-shaped ears are nearly 6.5 feet wide, acting not only as sensitive sound collectors, but also as natural radiators. But it is their trunks that are truly astonishing, a muscular marvel composed of over 40,000 individual muscles. This tool of survival and expression can lift a fallen tree, or pluck a single blade of grass, suck up 2 gallons of water, or offer a gentle caress. Their tusks, long incisors, are tools and weapons. With them, they dig for water, strip bark, and fight during the mating season. But it is these same tusks that are behind their long struggle for survival. The African bush elephant has endured decades of relentless poaching. According to the 2024 update of the IUCN Red List, the species is now listed as near threatened. With only about 415,000 individuals remaining, a drastic decline from the numbers just a century ago. However, there is still hope. In Kenya, the population has stabilized thanks to conservation efforts led by the Kenya Wildlife Service. Sanctuaries like Tsavo East are now a refuge for an estimated 13,000 to 14,000 elephants. At the heart of each herd is a matriarch, an older female who carries the memory of generations. She knows where the water once flowed, where danger once lurked, and guides her kin accordingly. This knowledge is not just instinct, it is intelligence. Elephants pass the mirror test, a rare sign of self-awareness found only in advanced cognitive beings like dolphins, chimpanzees, and humans. In Tsavo, survival requires movement. The seasons dictate their steps. During the dry months, the Galana River becomes their lifeline. Each adult consumes up to 330 pounds of vegetation and 53 gallons of water daily. During prolonged droughts, they can travel tens of miles, often under the cover of darkness. By the river, elephants drink, bathe, and roll in the mud, cooling their skin and repelling insects. Unlike many mammals, they can breed year-round. However, their reproduction is very slow. A female is pregnant for nearly 22 months, the longest gestation period of any land mammal. She gives birth to only one calf, with several years between each birth. This slow pace makes the species particularly vulnerable to threats. But the calves learn quickly, raised not just by their mothers, but by the entire herd. When danger strikes, the adults close ranks, forming a living wall of flesh and ivory to protect the young. Hidden among the tangled thickets and rugged volcanic ridges of Tsavo West National Park, a rare and resilient survivor moves silently through the shadows. This is the eastern black rhinoceros, a living relic on a precarious journey of survival. Within the protective boundaries of the Ngulia Rhino Sanctuary, this critically endangered subspecies is clinging to life. What sets the eastern black rhino apart from its southern cousin is its long, slender, backward curving horn, sometimes reaching up to 55 inches. Made of keratin, the same protein in human fingernails, this horn is both a tool and a target. Its dark, wrinkled skin looks like a suit of ancient armor, etched by time, textured by heat, and sculpted by a life lived among the arid plains and rocky highlands. Weighing up to 3,000 pounds, it is a formidable creature, but rarely seen. Innately solitary, it tends to avoid attention. Its most distinctive feature, a pointed, prehensile upper lip, curls like a small hook, a perfect adaptation for a browser's diet. Unlike the white rhino, a grazer of the open grasslands, the black rhino is a specialist. It deftly plucks young leaves, shoots, and twigs from thorny bushes and shrubs, consuming up to 66 pounds of vegetation a day. Despite its massive build, the eastern black rhino has poor eyesight, but it compensates with acute hearing and an exceptional sense of smell. Its cone-shaped ears swivel independently, picking up even the slightest footfall in the dry bush. In a place as harsh as Tsavo, a moment's inattention can mean the difference between life and death. To endure the relentless heat, mud becomes an ally. Wallowing is not just for comfort, it is an armor against parasites. Reproduction is slow. Females give birth only once every 2 to 4 years, after a 16-month gestation. A newborn calf, weighing from 66 to 99 pounds, stays close to its mother for several years. It is this long and vulnerable childhood, combined with the rhino's tragic history, that has made it the focus of intensive conservation. In the 1980s, only 3 individuals remained in this area. But by 2024, Kenya's eastern black rhino population had grown to about 1,040. In Ngulia, over 100 now roam, protected by 24/7 armed patrols, satellite monitoring, and electronic ear tagging systems. However, the threat remains. The eastern black rhino is still listed by the IUCN as critically endangered, having lost up to 90% of its population in just 3 generations. But here, in Tsavo West, their silent presence offers more than just statistics. It offers hope, a quiet prayer whispered in the dust and the wind.